Hi, it's Jill Foster here with our next Simply Shimmerz Simply Penny Black stamping video. And this is a monthly video series where I focus on basic stamping and the joy of painting. And I'll be using Shimmerz paints. And the paints that I'm using from Shimmerz today are the Inklings, which are a shimmering watercolor. And I'm combining these with the Aqua Hues paints, which are a non-shimmering watercolor. And I really love mixing and matching these two. The Penny Black stamps that I'm using are from the new transparent sets, Grateful and Autumn Splendor. And this is from the Autumn collection from Penny Black. And here's a look at the cards that we'll be creating today. I'll actually be creating the sunflower card shown on the left, and the card on the right is done using the exact same techniques. So to begin, I'm going to stamp my images, and I'm using VersaFine ink in the color of smoky gray, and I really like this color because it is a softer impression than a stark black, which really allows the paint and the shimmer to shine through with these detailed images. I'm stamping this with the Misty onto Canson 140-pound watercolor paper, and as you can see, I'm doing about 3 impressions just so that I get a really nice stamped, clean, crisp impression. Because the watercolor paper is somewhat textured, this is a really great way to make sure that the stamped impression is perfect. So I really like to stamp a lot of things in advance and then have them ready to just sit down and paint whenever I have a chance. And so here's just a couple that I'm doing, but it'd be really easy to stamp this off several times, especially using the Misty. So to begin, I'm going to paint the image using the Inklings, and these are the shimmering watercolors. And the first color I'm using here is called Olive You Truly, and I have all of the exact colors, stamps, and inks listed at the end of the video on a supply list. I really love this green color. It's part of the vintage collection of Inklings, but you can also buy it individually as well. And I'm just putting the darker color on the leaves where I want the shading to be the darkest, and then I'm going in and blending it out using just water on my brush. This next color is Good as Gold, and I'm just putting that onto the petals and then going back with water or with a fairly dry brush and sort of pushing that so that the darkest, thickest layer of paint is towards the center of the flower. And to activate these paints, they'll come in a hard cake-like form. You just spray them with water and give them 10 minutes or so. You don't even have to wait that long, but I like them to be really thick and creamy, so I spray them till they're pretty much full with water, let them sit for about 10 minutes, and then begin painting with them. So to paint the background, I'm using the Inklings color Blew My Mind, and these shimmering watercolors are really fun to do on the backgrounds. And I'll give you a good look at the shimmer at the end of the video too, once it's all complete. So I'm putting down just a really light layer of this paint, and then as it fades out away from the image, I just get it to do that by adding water. So there you can see I've put, when my brush was full of the paint, I put that down next to the image, and then now I'm going back with just water and sort of letting that bleed out and spread. These paints, the shimmer does leave a little bit of texture to the background, and they will reconstitute when other layers are added on top. So you do not have to worry about getting like a perfect blend or fade out from the image. The texture that it provides is really beautiful, gives it a real natural look, and it makes it easy to just enjoy the process of painting and not worry about things looking perfect. Now here I'm going back, and while that's still wet, I wanted to darken it up a little bit. So I'm just adding some more, and because it's still wet, it will start to bleed out towards or fade out towards the edge. Now here at the bottom, I'm using one of my favorite colors of the Aqua Hues. Now these are the non-shimmering watercolors, and this color is called Cup of Joe. And I'm following the same process, and I love how it looks when you mix and match the shimmering and the non-shimmering. It gives a lot of depth to an image. This is just one layer stamping and painting, but in the end it really does have a lot of depth. So once everything was dry, I'm going back and just randomly selecting about every other petal and putting a pretty thick layer of the Good as Gold Inklings on that. And you'll see here it's fun with that shimmer to see that really thick shimmer on just some of the petals and not all of them. I'm adding a few splatters of the Cup of Joe Aqua Hues, trying to get them to be mainly onto the background and not onto the flower, but because it's such a light layer, it really doesn't matter if some gets onto the flower or the leaves. And then I'll add a little bit of that same blue color, the Blue My Mind Inklings, up near the top. If you get any big blobs, you can just usually pick them up with your finger and blend it out with water. Now I'm using the Aqua Hues. These are the non-shimmering watercolors, just to add a touch of brightness here and there within the image. So this is the color Carrots, and I've added just a little bit of that to some of the petals in the flower, mostly the ones that I did not go back and add that thick layer of the Inklings yellow color, that gold color. And then this is the Green with Envy color of Aqua Hues. What's great about this stamped image is it makes it easy to shade. There's a lot of detail and shading actually done in the line art of the image. So if you just put down colors that you like, you really have an image that looks artistic and shaded beautifully. For just a little touch of vibrant color for that background, that sky, I'm using the Little Boy Blue Aqua Hues. Not putting it everywhere, but just in a few places. And it will mix and blend with the blue that was already back there. That was the Inklings blue. Just adding it in a few more places, and because that area of the paper is already wet, it's easy for that to blend. And then I really like sometimes to add a touch of the color from the focal point image onto the background. So here I'm just doing that with a little bit of the Carrots Aqua Hues and the Good as Gold Inklings. And now finally, here's a look at that finished painting once it's dry. And the shimmer is so pretty in real life. These Inklings are just gorgeous when they're dry and you're finished. So I think you'll really love them in real life. To finish things off, I kept it really simple. I just mounted this onto white cardstock and then onto a white note card, and that is the finished card. And then using these exact same techniques and another stamp from Penny Black, I've created another fall themed card. And here's a look at that. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed today's video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our YouTube channel. I've listed all of the links down in the YouTube description box below on how you can connect with both Penny Black and with Shimmerz. And if you place a Shimmerz order, be sure to mention my name in the comments section of your order and you'll get a free pot of paint. And here's a list of all the supplies used in the creating of today's card.